y'all. The dating scene is terrible out here. Whether you are swiping on the apps or letting your friends decide thank you, Phil, who you should date without even knowing the other person. I feel like that's risky, and I've got some guests here. How many guests do I got, Phil? Four guests here to discuss their blind date experiences and whether or not we should do it. All right, let's get into it. Did I do it?
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez. The blindfold is off, baby, because blind dating, it ain't for me, I don't think. But before I talk to my guests, let's check out this little video.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Is hot. That one? That was my name? Whatever you want. I mean, it's McDonald's. You can have it your way after all. Oh, wait. Is that Burger King? Oh, shit, wait. Are you Carlos? Chuka's cousin? Oh, shit. Chuka wasn't lying when she said you look like the Shein version of Drake. I need a one dance. Don't worry. I like Shein. I'm wearing Shein right now. I mean, I know I'm not wearing much, but trust me, I've worn less.
Wow. Okay. I bet people be showing up to blind dates.
I don't like it.
No. All right, we got Dami here. We've got Kevin Perez, Bonke the author, and Paige Crutcher from Adultish Wines. All right. I feel like it is such a risk to go on a blind date. It's already a risk knowing all of their information and seeing photos that could be catfish, but to not know a thing except for a few items. Talk to me, Paige.
I just don't understand why it would be a risk, and this is why I want to go on a blind date, and more often is because shouldn't the people that are setting you up with these dates know you? So why is it that big of a risk? Why is it more of a risk than online dating even? Because that could be a catfish. Like if you set me up with someone, you know that they look like maybe what I'm interested in.
Right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But people have frenemies.
True.
Right. So if you're somebody who only has authentic relationships, then the blind date will work. But if you entertain frenemies and people you know really don't like you for real, it's going to be a setup.
Okay.
But not only that, you don't know how these people are when they are on dates. Like you might only know them as a friend, how we might interact. They get around someone and act completely different. So, and then you got to beat up your friends. So
that's true, because it may, like, you know, I might meet Pablo or something and be like, you know what, you would be great with Dami, but I've met him a handful of times. I don't actually know him.
Exactly.
It's not like I'm sitting around.
I think I was really going off like that video where they were
No,
like,
I
like
mean-
Shein, you know what I mean? Like Shein version. Like I would hope that nobody would set me up like that.
Right. I don't want to be described as a Shein
She was
version.
the
of anything.
Shein
Correct.
version.
Right.
No, the dude was a Shein version of Drake.
I know, but she
She was a Shein version of Shein, which is very hard to pull off.
Yeah.
she did it, I guess. All right, so how do y'all feel about blind dates?
I'm here for it.
No.
Kevin at the gate
automatically
said
said no.
All right,
Why?
come on, you got a story, baby. Let's go,
I
Kevin.
mean, in today's time, I think you should know a person, see a person, fill them out before you actually commit to that, putting that time. Yeah, putting that first time. And so, I don't know. I've been in a couple of blind dates and they wasn't too good for me. So
Okay,
yeah,
why
just,
not? Can you
physical-
give me an example of the first one?
I'm a little older. The first one was a while back when I was a little younger, when we was having flip phones still. So having the pictures and stuff wasn't there. So this was a true blind date, and physical is very important. So the conversation was there, but when I met this person, it was like, oh, I just kind of wanted to drive off. But being a nice person, I'm just saying, I gotta keep it real. I just wanted to drive off, but you know, I'm a gentleman, so I stayed and engaged. Yeah, I entertained it for a little while, but it didn't turn out good at all.
There was no
There was no
attraction.
attraction whatsoever, and then that's a big thing in the relationship.
So who
have
set
to
you
have
up that time?
That was actually off a dating app. I went back in the day. We was actually talking about that back in the green room. We had the chat room, the hotlines back in the day and stuff like
we
that.
didn't know
That was
anything.
the true blind date era. Was the chat line era. So that was an interesting.
It was popping. Staying on that line, and you don't know who you're
and
talking
people
to.
was able to get away with the send me a picture. Oh well, I don't have a camera phone. Oh okay, I understand. Now it's like no, send me a picture. Send me your social media.
FaceTime me now.
All that, right?
Right now.
So it's a little different, but yeah, I'll stay away from it. I'll stay clear from it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very much so.
Like the scene from Friday when she told him she looked like Janet Jackson.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation.
Okay.
I've been in that situation. I'm not Smokey though. I'm not gonna play those games. I'm not, So,
Absolutely
yeah.
not.
So there is no one in this world that you would trust to set you up for a blind date.
I have a couple of friends. They know me. But I wouldn't let my mom or my grandmother or somebody, they might set you up with somebody that's
From
not
the
really
church with a
compatible.
mustache.
Exactly.
But she could cook though.
Yeah, she
Right,
got
right.
She don't be
personality.
in the streets.
And she got personality.
You know what? Maybe I'm always in it for the plot because sign me up. Set me up. Like, if at the very least, it's gonna be a good story.
For sure.
Yeah.
It'll get you on
She's
a
down
nightcap.
for the adventure. Yeah, true. Very true.
I'm adventurous.
Okay, I want to hear about your blind date adventure after the commercials coming up. You down? All right, coming up next, we got 3 ladies who are going to share their blind date experiences, so you stay right there. We'll be right back. That cannot be for real. That cannot be for
What in
real.
all the hell?
All right, we talking about blind dates here on the night.
I am behold.
We got Tommy, Kevin, Bonke, and Paige. All right, Paige, for the plot.
Yeah, give it
I
to
mean,
us.
that is
Yeah,
podcast
that's
material
plot.
if I've ever seen it.
What would
Really
you do with
plottish.
that?
I would stay.
You would stay.
Wow.
I feel like you have to.
You gotta see it
For the
through.
story. For the story.
You have to see
Yeah.
it through, my boy.
but maybe it's because I haven't been through something quite so traumatic like you talked about. Like
Right.
I've had a couple blind dates and one guy was like shorter than I would have gone for. This was back in my
Shorter than
like
I would've gone.
20s. And then one was a really cool guy, but I just wasn't super attracted to him. But we had a couple drinks and yeah, I mean it was fine.
So is it a waste of time if the potential of not being attracted to them is there?
But that's a date.
I
period.
believe.
A date in
Isn't
itself is a risk,
What-
right? You're going on the first date. You may have physically seen this person via photos, maybe even via a video call, right? But as you guys were saying, their actual presence physically, you're in the same room. It's a risk anyway. So we're not talking about traveling with this person. We're not talking about being in private quarters. But if you're going to meet publicly anyway, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
At least you mean with somebody that looks good when you know.
But
that
you don't
compliment
know.
you.
But you
But
don't
you know, if
know.
you've seen them before, I'm just
Okay.
saying, but
Yeah.
compared to a blind date, at least you know that, hey, this person looks good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be comfortable.
So my
or
story,
Or look.
I was
if
the
you're not getting
person
catfished, I guess, yeah.
Come
who
on,
got
Bonke.
pulled away on. I know, impossible, right? I mean, look at me. But
crazy.
it was a long.
Was it Kevin?
It was, and it's so interesting that fate would have us.
Here today.
Come on through.
Don't be
But
telling
no.
our business.
But this was in college, and I had transferred from a school, right? And I was still friends with people from the original school. And my homeboy was like, "Oh, I had know somebody, and you guys would hit it off or whatever." And we started talking. He was from Ghana, my family's from Nigeria, and we did hit it off. So somebody else on campus was going to where his school was, which was 8 hours away, right?
Okay.
I get there, and he looks at me, and he's like, "Nah."
Lo mato, lo mato. What
this
did
is-
you feel?
This is why I love my people. So of course I felt like rejected, right? But then also I know, I mean, look at me, right?
Come
so I'm
on.
like, so this is just not a match. And I appreciate, even when it's uncomfortable, I love honesty. I find that to be very attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can be respectful about it.
Yeah. So what I did was the school that I had visited was like 4 hours away from my hometown. And so then I just took another 4 hours and went home.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a lot of wasted
there we
time.
go.
That was
That's
wasted time.
Do you have his Facebook or Instagram? You want to go pull up his plans?
Right.
He's
Like, we can do some
I got
things.
you. Let's ride out.
We got to cut his hedges.
Exactly.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I like your level of petty.
Right.
Yeah. You don't get a felony for it, but it's inconvenient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now clean up that soil.
All right, while we plot, you stay and watch some ads, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about blind dates with my friends Dami, Kevin, Bonke, and Paige. And baby, some have been tame and some have been absolutely horrible. So, Dami, What is your?
Right,
Oh,
let's go.
not the
Wait.
head shake already. What was your? Oh, she's getting comfortable.
You good? You good?
I'm good. I want to hear
So
this.
I think we all know that the dating pool is full of doodle chips and fentanyl.
Okay.
At this
yeah.
point.
Not fentanyl.
We're in it, so how could that be the
Right.
case? But go on.
So my story is, I met a guy on the chat line,
On the chat line.
Oh.
which means no pictures, no FaceTime, none of that going on there. We meet. He shows up at my parents' house in a suit and a Bible. Okay. He wanted to impress my family, let them know he was a wholesome church-going man. He picks me up. My family's like, oh, he seems amazing. We get in the car. He was like, I got to make a stop. We leave in that vehicle and we pull up to a trap house.
Not the trap.
After we pull up to the trap house, what?
He hides it in the Bible.
In Fifth Ward.
The smuggler.
And nothing wrong with Fifth Ward, but this is like back in the day. This trap house had no windows, no doors. Like, you knew what was going on, but I was real green at the time. So he goes in, he's like, I'll be right back, okay? He goes in, he's gone for like maybe 15 minutes. 15 minutes goes by, he comes out dressed as a doughboy, hat, chains. I'm like, whoa.
You went
What
from
is this?
preacher to thug.
Yes, he
just
did.
like that.
Okay.
Preaching the gangster.
Switched around. He was smoking in the car. He was like, you want to hit this? And I was like, no, I'm okay. You know, let's just get to our destination. We're going to the movies. We get to the movies. His friend and the girlfriend is there, and they're smoking. Him and his friend leave me and the girl in the movie theater. And she says, oh, my God, he does this ish every single time. And I'm like, what? She's like, they're smoking. And I'm like, okay. She was like, no, they're smoking wet.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, at the time, I didn't know what it was.
Okay,
but wet.
for my good Christian people at home,
They're real Bibles.
my older folk at home who
For
don't
my
know what
older
wet
people
means.
at home, wet is embalming
Yeah,
fluid.
PCP, embalming fluid.
So he's smoking this, and we're sitting in the movie theater, and she's like, I'm getting ready to go. Let's go. I go out there, and he's tweaking. He's tripping. It was probably maybe 20 minutes we were there at that movie theater, and I ended up having to call my father to come pick me up because he was tweaking at the movie theater.
The preacher know?
Ain't no way.
No more.
So you
love
can't
this.
tell me, like, I understand, like, maybe back in the day, we were taking such big risks by, like, just meeting somebody on the phone or letting you pick them up or meeting them out. Hell, it's an even bigger risk now.
Baby, he showed up to your door with a Bible in his
Well,
hand.
Bible and a suit. Don't forget the suit.
Your parents should have
Okay,
known
so-
better.
Should've known something was going
A
on.
leisure suit at that.
At least it's-
So
leisure
what is
suit.
y'all's choice of dating now? Since obviously blind dating is horrific. You already described it as, what would you say this cesspool
Doodle
is?
chips and fentanyl.
Doodle chips and
forget
fentanyl
that.
is
Okay,
our
put
dating
it on a
pool.
shirt.
How
Put it
are
on a
we
shirt.
dating now? What is a successful way?
I don't know. At this point, I might want to go back to some of my exes. It might not be that bad.
Oh, wow. No.
It might not be that
guess
bad.
it's
Just meeting new people now, dating is horrible. People don't date. It's not we're not getting to know each other. I feel like we're just bodies here at a table eating. Like, do you really want to get to know me, or you just want to get in my panties so you can see what it feel like? And then I'm gonna block you the next day anyway. So
I feel like dating on social media has like increased, but it's kind of the same thing. People are just hearting and firing
Right.
off emojis and not asking you out or talking to you.
Yeah.
Like they'll send a heart and they're moving on with their day. They're probably taking a while they do that.
exactly.
Like, they don't care.
The best ever.
So here we go back to doodle.
Back to, a lot of doodle happening here. Director Ernie is pissed. When poo-poo was mentioned up on this show.
This
So,
is the
Bonke,
most
what's your
depressing
approach
thing
now?
I've ever heard. You have to. It takes repetition, right? So people are meeting online or in areas where you don't get to see the person more than once, so you don't really have an idea of who they are. But if you maybe are frequenting the same places so that you end up seeing the same person, obviously work is ideal in a way because you get to see this person not just online, but you can see how they move throughout
That's
the
trouble,
world.
though. Work relationship?
I mean, everything is trouble.
Yeah, true. Very true.
So
Everything is trouble.
everything is trouble. So it's just
Yeah,
what
but
trouble
even
can you
with
deal
dating,
with?
I still feel like a lot of people, you're meeting their representative. And once I meet your representative and we get comfortable, then you want to show up to work and start bugging out. So it's like, who are you really? Like, everything is a gamble. Everything is a risk. You don't know. Like, even being with someone for a year, they can switch up and change on you.
That's true.
That's true.
I'm gonna
So
have a
everything
blind
is a
date
gamble.
on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Report on back.
Yes. Because
I'm supposed to be setting her up.
he's bringing 2 of his homeboys,
Yeah.
so I could choose.
They're not gonna
Yeah.
let him in the door unless
Right.
he brings them.
I
So
got
he
you.
doesn't want to be set up, but you're comfortable setting someone up.
Hey,
We're
She
going to
wanted
attack
to-
you during the commercials.
Hey, she wanted to.
Okay. No, thanks for sharing all of your wonderful blind date experiences. I haven't had any of those. All right, coming up next, I'm actually going to be heading to Mutiny Wine Room for a blind experience as well. You stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about blind dates, and a beautiful place to have a blind date is Mutiny Wine Room in the Heights. We've been here before, but this time we're here for something special. Mark, as you remember him from before, owner here, Mark Ellenberger, you invited us for something special, not a blind date, but a blind tasting.
That's right. So blind tasting is it's an interesting aspect of drinking wine. Typically what we like to do is try and identify where the wine is from, first of all. What's the varietal? So these are not blends, these are 100% one varietal. The age of the wine and the quality of the wine. Today we're gonna condense this just a little bit, and we're gonna talk about 2 Napa Cabernets.
Okay, so he told us where. All right, girl, welcome.
Where and what?
Yeah.
Cabernet's the varietal, right?
Yes, but they're from different places within Napa, and that's where the special.
hard.
That's
Yeah.
where the discussion comes in.
Okay.
So, I
that-
invited Paige on this blind date. She had no idea what we were gonna do. Now she knows. We are blind tasting calves.
Okay, I love it. I'm excited.
Yes.
Anything with wine and the nightcap.
Come on,
I'm
baby.
there.
All right, Mark.
So the generally accepted geographic divisions within Napa are broken down into what we call valley fruit and what we call mountain fruit. Each of them has their own particular characteristics. So we're going to have one wine from the mountain and one from the valley. Mountain fruit is generally considered to be more structured because when you grow grapes on the mountainside, generally there's better irrigation. Poorer soil makes for better grapes because they're smaller and they struggle more, and there's a greater skin to pulp ratio.
Worked harder
So-
to get good.
Worked harder to get good. The valley floor is typically more fertile, so the grapes are somewhat bigger and more, I would say, lush as opposed to more structured. Just go ahead and just inhale the aroma, and we'll start there.
Okay.
Okay.
Lush. I'm just kidding.
Okay, there's definitely, I think there's more oak in one of these wines,
Okay.
and there's more fruit forwardness.
This one's
in one.
fruit forward, and this is oaky.
That is absolutely 100% correct.
I thought he was like setting you up for that's absolutely 100% wrong.
Wrong, I know. I was like,
Okay, I'll agree.
You nailed it on the head. That indicates to me that this is the more structured wine, so that probably is the one from the mountain.
that is very good. It's dry,
Mm-hmm.
but I like it.
The next thing you can do is swish the wine a little bit around your gums in the back here, and you're looking for a grippy feeling on the outside of your gums.
Is that when people make the sound?
Yes, and that gives an indication of the tannin structure.
I'm not good at this, Mark. Did you do it? It's just going to that back thing and really messing me up.
I don't know how.
How do you do it?
Just stand
Do
in
it.
the center there.
Okay, so I just
Expert loading.
take a sip.
Okay.
So I just sucked in a little bit of air. Try not to
Like
spit on
through
myself.
through your teeth.
Try not to spit, and then swish it around your gums.
No, that literally
It's 'cause
just
of
went
the filler
gold.
in my lips, but I can't
Okay.
quite.
Okay, well let's try the second wine.
You're
Go to the
right. Keep us on track, Mark.
Let's do the same. So do the same, suck it in, and feel the grippiness or lack thereof on your gums.
Oh yeah, that's smooth. Okay, now I understand the gum thing. See, if I'm not breathing in air and putting it in the back of my throat, that just sounds terrible.
So, I think we were agreeing that this is more structured and more tannin.
Yeah.
and this is more lush and more fruity.
Yes. Before we go, and I know you're topping us off and we have another tasting, we got to do the grand reveal.
Okay, so our mountain fruit is Kagan Cellars Cabernet Sauvignon.
That's the one
from
y'all make.
Stagecoach Vineyard in the Atlas Peak mountain region of Napa.
All
the
right.
Valley Floor fruit. This is our top of the line wine. This is what we call Kagan Cellars K3. It comes from the George III vineyard in Rutherford in the valley of Napa.
All right, so for National Cabernet Sauvignon Day, you guys are offering a wonderful deal.
So 20% off all Cabernets.
Including these two.
Including these two.
Ooh.
And 25% for takeaway.
I love it, and that is August 30th, folks. Come to Mutiny Wine Room, get yourself a cab, try a blind tasting. Oh, and they got good food too. But me and Paige, we got some more drinking to do because we got more blind tasting to do, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, Mark. Thanks for having us. We'll
Cheers.
see y'all next time.